There's a photo moving through a handful of Toyota supplier forums right now that nobody at Toyota approved for release. It shows a vehicle barely longer than a parking space, riding on axle housings, so oversized for its footprint that 3 different supplier photos show engineers measuring them by hand like they didn't trust the file dimensions. The only badge visible anywhere on the body reads a single word, Kairo. Toyota has not confirmed a specification, a price, or even that the name is real. And yet, 3 separate leak accounts on 3 different continents are describing the exact same machine down to the same measurements. By the time this video ends, you'll understand why the people closest to this project keep calling it the most quietly elegant thing Toyota has ever tried to keep hidden. Before we get into what's actually sitting underneath that composite shell, subscribe now, because whatever this turns out to be, it does not behave like anything currently sold under the Toyota badge. Let's start with what the leaked images actually show, because the proportions alone don't make sense at first glance. Total length sits at roughly 13.5 feet, 4.1 meters, according to the leaked spec documents. Width comes in around 5 feet, 11 inches, narrow enough to fit inside a single-car garage door opening without folding a single mirror. Height in travel mode with the roof collapsed is listed at 6 feet, 9 inches. With the pop top raised, that grows past 8 feet. Up front, the fascia keeps a horizontal LED light bar tucked directly behind a slotted grille insert, visible only when lit, flanked by 2 auxiliary lamps mounted low near the front skid plate and angled to throw light across ruts rather than straight down the trail. The exterior panels are described in supplier documents as a composite honeycomb skin, not stamped steel, lighter, but according to 2 separate leaks, roughly 40% more expensive to repair after minor trail damage. That's the one detail that doesn't match the fantasy. This thing is reportedly not cheap to fix if you scrape it. The color shown in every leaked render is the same, a matte clay olive finish with no metallic fleck, which reads almost military at a glance and deliberately non-reflective at dusk. A snorkel runs up the driver's side A-pillar, feeding into an intake positioned above roofline height. Side profile tells its own story. Rocker panels sit recessed nearly 2 inches behind the wheel arches, protected by a continuous rub strip that supplier drawings label as sacrificial, designed to scrape first so the door panels don't have to. Around back, the spare wheel mounts to the rear hatch on a fold-out swing arm, and a full-width tailgate drops flat to become a load platform rated, according to one leaked structural document, at 400 pounds, with 2 recessed tie-down points milled directly into the composite skin. None of the leaked images show a traditional bumper step. Instead, the rear skid plate itself doubles as the mounting point for a fold-down step, a detail 2 separate leak accounts flagged independently as unusual enough to photograph twice. Rear quarter windows are small, genuinely small, barely a hand's width tall, which is a real compromise. Backing this out of a tight trailhead campsite is going to depend almost entirely on the camera system Toyota hasn't yet confirmed will ship standard. But the exterior isn't where this leak gets strange. What's reportedly happening underneath at the axles themselves is the parts supplier engineers keep describing off the record, and off the record is the only way anyone's describing it right now. According to 2 people with direct access to early supplier documentation, the Kairo runs portal-geared axles front and rear, something Toyota hasn't used on a passenger vehicle in decades. The benefit of portal gearing is that it lifts the differential housing above axle centerline, and the numbers being floated put ground clearance in off-road mode at 11.4 inches, 290 millimeters, an extreme figure for a vehicle with this short a wheelbase. The hybrid powertrain rumored to sit underneath is a version of Toyota's turbocharged 4-cylinder hybrid system, with combined output estimated, not confirmed, around 232 horsepower. Crawl ratio, according to one leaked spec sheet, comes in near 45:1. Here's the honest problem with that number. A crawl ratio that aggressive usually assumes a longer wheelbase to manage the geometry cleanly. On something this short, tight switchbacks could actually be harder to execute smoothly than the spec sheet implies. More pivot, less patience. If that number is real, Toyota's engineers solved a mechanical puzzle. Whether they solved the driving feel puzzle that comes with it is something no leak has answered yet. On the range side, one leaked pre-certification filing, again unconfirmed, lists an estimated 26 miles of gas-free range on the plug-in hybrid battery alone, with a combined range across both the electric motor and the four-cylinder engine estimated near 480 miles per tank. If that figure holds up, it would let someone cover a full weekend loop without hunting for a charging station or a gas station in between. And that first number worth remembering, the one that keeps surfacing across every leaked document, is this. Supplier paperwork, cited by two independent sources, caps the planned first production run at 400 units worldwide. Not 400 per year, 400, period, before any decision gets made on whether to continue building it at all. Step inside, and the interior renders explain why insiders keep reaching for words like restrained instead of extravagant. The driver's cabin uses a single floating digital cluster, a two-spoke wheel with no visible branding, and a seating position raised almost 8 inches higher than the exterior proportions would suggest. Behind that, the living area runs the full width of the cabin, a bench seat that folds flat into a lower bed platform, and a slide-out counter section that extends 14 inches into the aisle when deployed. Looking at this, it feels like a Kyoto tea house got miniaturized and welded onto a 4x4 chassis. Deliberate, unhurried, with nothing sitting there just to fill space. Here's the interrupt worth pausing on. Campers this size almost always sacrifice standing headroom to keep weight down. The leaked interior renders show 6 feet 1 inch of clearance under the raised pop-top roof. Inside a vehicle whose total curb weight is estimated at under 4,200 pounds. Something got engineered very deliberately to make both of those numbers true at the same time. The kitchen is compact by necessity, a single induction burner rated at 1,400 watts, and a 12-volt fridge-freezer drawer with roughly 1.6 cubic feet of usable space, mounted low to keep the center of gravity down for off-road stability. The washroom is a wet bath layout, cassette toilet, fold-flat shower head, and a drain built directly into the floor pan rather than a separate shower tray. A space-saving choice, but one that means the entire room gets wet every time someone showers. That's an honest trade-off, not a flaw hidden by camera angles. The bedroom lives in that raised pop-top section, reached by a slim aluminum ladder. Mattress dimensions, according to the leaked interior package, come in at 58 by 76 inches, a true queen, with a 3-inch memory foam topper layered over a base cushion. Skylight venting sits directly above the pillow line, screened, with a manual crank to adjust airflow without leaving the bed. None of that explains the part of this leak that off-grid campers are going to care about most. According to a supplier document referencing the climate system, the Kairo's heat pump is pulled from Toyota's existing electrified vehicle parts bin. A compressor architecture already validated in mass production, simply retuned for a cabin a fraction of the usual size. That's the kind of insider detail you don't get from a rendering. You get it from someone who's actually seen a bill of materials. Power for that system comes from a roof-integrated flexible solar array rated around 200 watts, feeding into a battery pack estimated at 5 kilowatt-hours of usable capacity, enough, according to early projections, for roughly 2 to 3 days of moderate off-grid use before needing sun or a shore hookup. A companion app, still unnamed publicly, is referenced in the same documents as handling battery state, water tank levels, and remote climate preconditioning from a phone. The center display itself reportedly carries a preloaded offline trail mapping layer, no cell signal required. 2 leaked screenshots show elevation contour lines rendering directly under the vehicle's live GPS position. Safety hardware, referenced in the same supplier documents, includes a driver assist suite built on Toyota's existing sensor architecture, a depth cruise tuned to account for the raised pop-top effect on stopping behavior, a sway detection system that reads the taller center of gravity and adjusts stability control accordingly, and a low camera view covering all four corners of the vehicle, not just the rear. None of this has been named publicly yet, and none of it is confirmed to ship on every trim, but it's described the same way across every document that mentions it, which is usually a sign a feature is closer to real than aspirational. But none of that explains the number attached to the price sheet, because according to what's leaked so far, this thing is supposed to cost less than almost everyone assumed. Multiple dealer-facing documents obtained independently by different automotive leak accounts place the expected starting price somewhere between $47,000 and $54,000. That is a speculative range, not a confirmed figure. Toyota has not announced a launch date, has not announced a price, and has not publicly acknowledged that the Kairo name is even real. Anyone telling you an exact number right now is guessing, and so are we, with the same hedge every leak carries. This isn't built for the family planning a 6-week cross-country haul, and it isn't built for the full-timer who's already sold their house to live on the road permanently. It's built for the person with 11 vacation days a year who refuses to spend a single one of them in a hotel parking lot, the remote worker who can log in from a trailhead, the retiree who wants real capability without a vehicle the size of a small building, the weekend traveler who wants to leave Friday night and be somewhere with no cell service by Saturday morning. If that's you, subscribe right now, because we track vehicles like this one long before any manufacturer is ready to admit they exist. Picture it for a second. Dusks, a dirt turnout somewhere with no marked trailhead sign, headlights sweeping across scrub brush as the Kairo rolls to a stop for the night. Roof rises with a soft hydraulic hiss, awning unfolds. Somewhere behind that composite panel, a battery that was charging off sunlight 8 hours earlier starts running a heat pump quietly enough that you'd have to be standing next to it to hear it at all. Outside, the only light comes from that hidden LED bar, dimmed low, catching dust in the air instead of blinding anyone 30 feet away. Here's the honest verdict, stripped of the hype. Everything you've just heard is sourced from leaked supplier documents and patent filings, not an official Toyota press release. Some of it will prove accurate. Some of it, maybe the price, maybe the production number, will almost certainly shift before anything reaches a showroom floor, if it reaches one at all. Concept vehicles at this stage die more often than they ship. That's not pessimism, that's just the historical batting average for anything this early. But if even half of what's leaked holds up, Toyota has quietly built something that doesn't apologize for being small and doesn't pretend that 400 units is a mistake instead of a decision. There's a strange kind of confidence in building something deliberately exclusive on purpose. And whether or not Toyota ever puts an official name on it, that restraint might be the most premium detail in the entire leak. Of those 400 units insiders keep referencing, fewer than 60 are reportedly earmarked for the US market in year one, which, if accurate, means most people watching this video will never park next to one at a campground, let alone own one. So tell us in the comments, if the Kairo turns out to be real, does a portal axle mini camper built on hybrid power actually count as a genuine 4x4? Or is it a soft roader wearing a very convincing costume? We want to know where you land. And if this kind of leak is exactly what you come here for, we've got another manufacturer's confidential filing sitting in our inbox right now. And what's described in it is even harder to believe than anything you just watched. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and we'll see you in the next one.